Hello guys, and welcome to this video tutorial. In this video I will show you how you could easily edit a video from A to Z in Camtasia and how you can also publish it in YouTube or any social media. To begin in Camtasia, the first step which I always do is that I put all the elements or the videos which I want to edit in a file. I name it always source project so that it is my locating documents and files. Next step, I always go to File and make the project settings by editing them. I always make sure that I choose the best rendering options or the best dimensions. For now, if you are planning to publish your video in YouTube or Facebook, you have multiple choices. The first choice is to choose the 720p HD high definition with the dimensions of 1280 by 720. The second one, which is higher and better, is the 1080 with 1920 by 1080. The best option, and the last one, is the 4K UHD ultra high definition. You have 3840 by 2160. This will influence how your video looks like and how the quality of your video when you are playing it. So make sure to choose the appropriate one. You have also for iPad, for iPhone, and for Facebook cover, and for also Instagram. So make sure to choose the one which suits you. For now and for this training purpose, I will always choose the standard one, which is 1920 by 1080, which allows me also to publish this video on YouTube. Also, the number of frames per second, I will choose always 60. You can't choose 30, it wouldn't harm your project, but it will influence the speed of rendering or making the video. Also, this background, which you see this background here, you can always choose white one so that it's visible for you if your video is covering the full dimension, which should happen, or not. The next step, we will import our media to Camtasia, including videos, sounds, pictures, and recorded video using Camtasia button. First of all, click on File, and this is one of the first options, and click Import. You can click Media, and this should guide you. Also, you have the import media here, which you can click simply, navigate to locate your file and your items, and click open. As last choice or last option, you can click on the plus button, and here you can choose import media, which allows you to import media from your desktop or connected storage devices to your computer. And you have also import media from Google Drive if you are already connected to the internet and you have your Google Drive open. Next step, in Camtasia, you can always click with the right button of the mouse to remove all empty tracks. To add a new track or a new layer to edit additional item, either click plus on add track here, or you can simply click drop drag on the top of the existing track and should add a new track for you. Next step, what we are going to do, we will first start with our intro, which we want to have at the beginning. We'll put it here, and here, as you can see, my video or my intro is quite too long and it's not fitting the full dimension of the video, which means that my video is smaller than the settings which I have set for this project, which is 1920 by 1080. To change this and make my video fit, just place the video on the corner until you see this and those lines, the yellow ones appearing on the top and on the left, which means that your video is just reaching the edge of the dimension. Next step, click on these little circles appearing down and drag your video. For some versions of Camtasia, this will allow you easily to change the dimensions of your video. For some Camtasia, it doesn't work. So all what you need to do, you need to press in the same time, you press the Shift button, and at the same time you click and you drag your video so that it fits the settings which you have set, if it's 1920 or if it's 4K settings, which is 3240. So now my video is fit. You can always click on the video by the right button of the mouse and check project settings to make sure that you have the correct settings, and the background, which is in white color, should not appear at all in this background indicator. So here my video is totally fitting and covering. So as I said, this intro video is quite too long, and here you have two options to change the size of your video or the duration of your video. First of all, by just clicking inside the video, placing this indicator in the place where you want, You can always either split a video or cut a part of it. To do that, place this indicator where you want the cut to happen. Press this key here, or you can simply press S and you should cut your video and you should be able to move it free. Next step, you can either delete this part and you are ready. There is another way. You can always by just clicking and dragging from the left to the right, reduce the duration of your video. If you want to keep the entire video as it is but make it faster, you can always click with the right button of the mouse, select clip speed or add clip speed. On the right here you see clip speed, so you can either change exactly the speed by 3, 4, 5 times. Just change the value there and your video should come 4 times smaller or shorter, or 10 times with keeping the entire video. It will just make it read faster. So now my video is smaller. I can always just reduce it a bit, and this will be my first video. Next step, I will just click and drag the next video next to it. You can either put it in this track number 2 or you can just put it next to it if you want. Next step, I would like to add a transition between the first and second video. To do that, click on transitions, change from type, movement, fades, etc. Until you find, or navigate until you find the appropriate one. Next step, click, drag, zoom on the timeline to see your video from closer. Next step, click on the edge of your transition and drag it until you see the duration has changed to 2, 3, 5, 10 seconds as you want. For now, just keep it 2 seconds and 20. You can always zoom out to have a better look on the timeline, and you can go back to media. The next step which we want to do, we want to add a like, share and subscribe button to our video. How to do that? There is already a video with green screen with all of what I have said. So for now, I will just mute this. And the next step will be that we'll just click on this green screen. I will make it play. And as you can see, I have this like, share and subscribe buttons appearing, and they are very nice. However, this green screen color is kind of not letting it to be nice, and it's covering my initial video. To fix this, and always make sure that the green screen video is in the upper position than the background video. So here my background video, the main video, and here the green screen video which will appear on the top. So now we will remove the green screen, go to visual effects, click on remove color and drag it to your green screen video. As you can see, it's much better than before, but we still can make it better. How? You can always play with the tolerance, you can play with the softness and the additional settings until you reach the results which looks enough and fair for you. Here again, just pause a little bit, and again we can continue reading our video. You can add a little bit of softness, tolerance, and now that we are done, my green screen color or my green color has disappeared. Next step, if this doesn't work for you, click on color, click on this indicator, go to your green screen video and select the color which is appearing inside. This should allow you to exactly remove. So if I want to remove this blue color, I just click with it and I can always remove the blue color. But since this is not what I want, so we'll just redo or undo what we have done. So we'll put back the video, the green screen video again. And now we are going to go to remove color, bring it here. So we'll just select this color. Now the green color has disappeared. This if in case in the beginning Camtasia didn't acknowledge or remove the green color properly. Next step, we don't want this green screen video appear in the middle or the like, share and subscribe button, so we'll just move it to the side and we can play with the dimension of it by just reducing the dimension. Now when it plays, my video plays properly and the green screen video on the side plays. Here we have again the green color there. We can always play with the softness, tolerance, and we can keep reading our video. Now we are done. Next step, you can always go back to your media, and this time we would like to edit the audio of this video. To do that, click with the right button of the mouse, click edit audio, and you can either by raising this indicator rise or reduce the sound in your video or the audio. There is another way. Click with the right button of the mouse and click separate audio and video, and now you see the audio appearing on the top. You can, by just double clicking just on the audio, you can play with it freely. You can remove it, delete it, or even mute it if you don't want the audio to appear there by just reducing it to 0. Another way, use audio effects, bring noise removal to remove the noise, click audio compression and bring it. This should allow you to play with the volume variation to make it less variant from low, medium and high settings, or it can allow you also to do custom sound editing by playing with the ratio, threshold of decibels, and also the gain which you want to have in your video if you are very familiar with the audio settings. We want to add an effect of fade in and fade out. So what we are going to do, we'll just bring this fade in and fade out. If the duration of the fade in and fade out is not enough for you and you would like to make it longer, just click on the zoom, click at the beginning of the video, click on the zoom to zoom on the timeline, and here click again on the sound, and you can, by touching this ball and moving it right and left, you'll be able to edit the duration of your fade in, and doing the same at the fade out, the end. This will allow you to play with it as you want. Again, you can always bring clip speed for changing the video speed from 1 time to 2 time, or even reducing by number of minutes, seconds and frames. This will make your video run faster, and this will reduce the duration of your video. Be careful, sometimes it impacts how the sound works, and sometimes the sound is not clear or is not even working. So make sure to use properly the settings of this clip speed. Next step, we would like to add an intro if you want, or even an outro. So for intro, just click on intros, double click on it, this window will appear, it will read for you the intro, and if you like it, you can always just bring it at the beginning of your video, click drop drag, and it should be added to your video. So we'll just change the positions. And the next step which we want to do, you want to edit the intro. Double click on it or click on this plus button, and you will see the panel here appearing. Here I will change the name, because when the video is reading, I see only Camtasia, and on the top TechSmith, and down www.techsmith.com. So I will just keep it here so that it's visible for me what I'm changing exactly. So for now, I will name the title IT Fox, IT Help, and below www.itfox.mirabel.com. Here you can change the color of your text, the background, and also the colors appearing in your background, and also how the shape colors looks like. You can also change the font size and the font color of your text. So for now, I will choose maybe black. And you can do the same with the others by just clicking on the arrow on the right side in the panel. Once done, just click on the font, the letter A, and it should close it. The next step, we would like to add an outro, so we'll just click on it. You can double click to see how it looks like, the outros. And if you like any of them, you can always just click, drop drag at the end of your video, and you should see it. Now by clicking inside the outros, you should be able to see all the text appearing. And here on the right side you will see the panel. You can edit the text as you do with any text. And once you are done, you can also change colors and the shapes. Once you are done, just close it or leave it as it is and go to the next editing properties. Now the next step, click on Annotations. Select whatever annotation you want to add. You can add whatever annotations you like to your video. Double click on the area where the annotation should appear, and here by clicking inside the annotation you should be able to change the text of the annotation and also the size, and by clicking and dragging wherever you want it should show as you want. Also you can, by clicking on the right of the annotation and dragging to the right, you can extend the duration of the annotation, and by placing the mouse cursor you should see the duration by seconds. So for now we will just leave the text as it is, and by clicking on this green button you can always invert how the annotations are appearing, and you can always, by just clicking and dragging, you can reduce the size of it. Once done, you can go to the next one. If you want to add an arrow to your video, just click, drop drag the arrow, and it should appear inside your video. By clicking on the arrow itself, the panel of editing the arrow should appear on the right, and you can change the color. And also you can change the style of it, also the thickness, and by clicking on the button on the left side or the edge, you can drag it and this should make it bigger. The next step, you can always add shapes. Click and drop drag the shapes inside your video, double click, and you will be able to see your shape. Click and drag to make it bigger, and on the right you see the panel of editing. You can change it to star or whatever shape you like, and you can also change the color of it and also the outline style. The next step, you can click on blur and highlight. If you have any part in the video which you want to blur, either click on this blur and click drop drag in the exact position where you want to hide it. You can do the same on the timeline, and by clicking on the edge and grabbing it to the right or to the left, you should be able to cover the wanted part by just manipulating using the mouse. The next step, you can always extend the duration of the blur by just clicking on the right side of it and extending it to the right or to the left. You'll be able to extend the duration from 1 second to multiple seconds. The next option, which also allows the same blur style and better covering, it's the pixelate option. Just click, drop drag also, and this pixelate should be able to cover for you and to hide the data or the face of the person which you want to cover. And you can also edit it as you want, as I said previously. And you can add as many blurs as you want for whatever duration you want. The next step, you can always highlight or add a spotlight into a part of your video for a certain duration, and once you start playing the video, that portion or that part will be highlighted and will be very visible to the person who is watching your video. Also, there is another option. You can add a highlight. Click and drop drag the highlight to the timeline, and as you can see the highlight is appearing, and you can place it to the part of the video which you want to have it highlighted. So the next step, you can always add an interactive hotspot if you are familiar with them and if you are in need of using them. Otherwise, you can go to the next option, which is the sketch motion, which you can add a circle or, for example, an arrow or a cube, etc., and you can use it. Once you click inside of it, you see here it's appearing on the timeline. Click on the right side to extend the duration, or bring it to the left side to reduce the duration, and you should see the duration time indicator. Next step, click on the right side panel and change the color of your sketch motion. Change the thickness. You can change the draw time from few seconds to 2-3 seconds, and you can either flip horizontally or vertically as you need it. I will invite you to go through the settings until you find something which you like to add to your video. Once you start playing it,
once done, the software will be able to access the internet.
Or showing the
Another way for allowing an application to access.
The next step, If you are using a keyboard tutorial or showing a keyboard tutorial and you would like the people who are watching the video to know what buttons exactly do you press, just click on any of these button styles which you like, click and drag, click on it, and here you have the button Control A appearing. You can, by just clicking and dragging, change the size. And the next step, just click on the keys and you can select or press any key in your keyboard. For example, for now, I'll just press Shift X and it should show Shift X. If I press Shift S, it should show Shift S. If I press Alt and C, it should also appear. And by clicking and dragging, you should be able to change the duration of this keyboard settings. The next step on editing this video, I would like to change or to rotate this video. I have multiple options. By just clicking on the green button, I can turn my video and revert it from up to down or down to up by just clicking and using the mouse. Next step or next option, you can always click on this arrow here or this button and it allows you to change or to rotate your video. Next one, you can always change or revert your video from right to left or left to right by just entering a value, which I'm going to do 180 degree, so it should be going to the right now, or if you enter 360, it should go to its initial position, or by just clicking on this button here and turning it until it reaches the other sides, from right to left or from left to right, as exactly you need. But I prefer the value, which is much easier to use. The next step, I would like to go and to add a zoom to my video. So we will just click on animation, click on zoom plan. But before you do the zoom, make sure to cut or make separation in your video. So you can always split your video into multiple parts so that the zoom works fine and nicely. For example, here I want to add a zoom, I will split. And also after here, I would like to make a split. So click, bring this indicator to the timeline and click S or press S or this button again. And finally, one last part. Now what we are going to do, we are going to delete one of these parts. We're going to put the other parts next to each other. And now on these initial parts, I will click, zoom a little bit on the timeline, and I'm going now to click to rescale this window here, and it should be zooming on my video as I wanted. Now to change the duration of the zoom, you will need to click on this red button appearing here down at the beginning of your video and click and drag it to the right until you see this arrow. This should extend the duration of your zoom in your video. Let's zoom out, and this is how it looks like. Now I'm going to play this video.
I get from accessing internet.
And now in my video is performing the zoom. I have added a special effect animation to this video, but normally I will just re-delete and remake the zoom again. So since the video is reverted, as I said, since the video was reverted, it didn't work really very well, but by repeating it again, animations, I will add the zoom on this video. And now let's zoom on the timeline itself, bring the button to the right to extend the duration. And now let's see how it looks like once it plays. It should add the zoom effect to my video. Now the zoom will start and it will go slowly, and it will keep zooming until the end of that portion which is cut from right and left from the video. Once it reaches this edge, it should stop the zoom. Exactly. And now we'll just zoom out. Also, one of the effects which you can add, or which one of the options available in Camtasia, that you can add your voice narration to your own video. To do that, just click on voice narration. You can choose first the microphone which you want to use on the top. You can here click to see the auto leveling the sound, and you can also select mute timeline during recording so that if there is any sound you don't hear it inside the video. You can also type your text so that you can read it, and you can start by clicking start voice recording. This should start recording your voice until you are totally finished. You press stop. Once you press stop, Camtasia will allow you to save the audio. You can choose any location and click save, and it should also appear out exactly where you started the sound narration. I started it here at the first minute 19 second, and here it shows. Next step, you can edit the audio, but we have seen this by adding noise removal, audio compression, fade in, fade out, clip speed. But one of the nice things is that the visual effects allow you to add interactive hotspot. And for now, I would like to frame this video by a device frame. To do that, just click on visual effects, select device frame, click and drop drag to your video so that your video appear like this. You can always click and drop drag colors adjustment, and you can play with the brightness and with the settings of the color if you don't like your current color. The next step, we will just go and click on add captions. This will allow us to add a text to the video. I will click at the beginning of the video or on the video to bring this indicator at the beginning so that I can start inserting text from there. The first caption or the first text, I will just put
hello guys, welcome to this new video.
Once done, click out here and your text has been added on a new timeline or new track. My text duration is 4 seconds, but by clicking again and dragging to the right, I can extend the duration. To add a new text, just click in the area where you want to add the text, click add captions, and it should allow you to add the captions which you want or the text which you want. Now that we are done, we will go ahead with the video rendering settings. Now all what we'll need to do, we need to zoom out of the timeline, make sure that everything is matching. I'm going to select everything and click group or with the right button of the mouse, and I will group everything in one group. Next step, I will click or bring this indicator at the beginning of the group or the video, click on the red button and bring it to the end of your group or the video. Next step, you can either press Ctrl P so that you see the settings, or you can click on File and you can go to Produce or Export, and here we will see how you can edit. For now, we will just click on Ctrl P and select Next. After selecting Custom Production Settings, you can always make sure to see the dimension, which dimension have you chosen, so that you don't make a mistake, and click Next. MP4 with Smart Player, Next. This select Produce with Controller and click Next. You can always include a watermark by selecting it, click Options, click on this image path file, locate the logo or the picture which you want to add. The position, you can always by clicking at any area see the logo appearing. I will place it in the middle. You can add color transparent, or you can even emboss as you like, and you can always play with the settings until it fits your requirement. Then click OK, click Next, rename your video in the production name section. Click on this folder to choose where you are going to save the render video. This select Organize, Produce, Show Production, Play Video, and click Finish. Once done, Camtasia might take few seconds to few minutes to even 1 or 2 hours based on how long is your video, how much editing you added to, what is the rendering quality, if it's 4K UHD or if it's just 1080 or if it's 720p, and then you should see the results. I will just pause the video here, and once the rendering is finished, I will show you how it looks like. So once Camtasia has finished rendering your video, it will reappear again like this. Do not close this
but just go ahead and click File, Save As or Save Project. You can choose the location where you want to save the project, and you can click Save. Once done, you can go ahead and close your Camtasia. You can play the video which has been produced to see if all the settings are correctly done. If you find any mistake or any video or any editing which didn't work out, you can always just delete the video which has been produced, and you can click on your project, double click on it 2 times. This should reopen for you Camtasia where exactly you left your project, and from there you can start editing again your project. As you can see, the project has been reopened again. You can just click with the right button of the mouse on the group, click and group, and then you can take or re-edit your videos accordingly and reproduce again. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to press like, share and subscribe to get our latest videos. If you are still facing problems or you have questions, you can always write us a comment and we'll do our best to help you. Thank you for watching and talk to you soon in a new video tutorial.